Hi there, friends. Have you ever watched a movie from the middle and you got to the end and you said, wow, I wonder how we got to this place? But you started watching, you got a scene and it caught your attention, but you missed like the first 10 or 15 minutes of that movie? Well, I think that working women often approach stress management and stress relief the same way. We miss something at the very beginning. And we're going to talk about how that affects our ability to have sustainable stress relief in just a few moments. Hi there, friends. I'm Marcelyn Bailey of ML Bailey Consultants, and you are inside of Stress Talk. This is where we have real talk about stress for working women who are tired of being stressed out and close to burnout. I was saying earlier that sometimes we come into a movie, we start watching a movie about 10 to 15 minutes after the movie started. And then we get to the end of the movie and we're wondering what happened in that first 10 or 15 minutes. It's almost like we missed something. Well, that's how I feel. And I'm a movie watcher. I can watch movies like 3, 4 times at a time. It's like I love movies. I watch them repeatedly. My husband can't stand that. If he watches a movie, he's going to watch it one time and he's done. But me, I like to watch it. I like to analyze it. I like to look at the characters. I like to see it from the very beginning. Well, this past Christmas, I saw a movie with Danny Glover from the very beginning, for the very first time. I had seen the movie many times over, but I had not seen it from the very beginning, like when they're playing the music and they're rolling some of the credits, like who's in the movie. This was the first time I'd seen it from the very beginning. And you know what? I finally understood what was going on. I mean, the movie was entertaining, but after missing like the first 10 minutes or so, I couldn't figure out how all the pieces fit together. This was the first time that I watched this particular movie with Danny Glover, and I understood how all of the pieces fit together. It's a Christmas movie. So maybe next year when it's Christmas time, you all will get to see it, or maybe you know it already. But I think that that's how we as working women approach stress management. We don't start at the very beginning. We often think about, my eyes are watering. We often think about approaching stress relief and stress management from like the middle. Like we do things that put band-aids on our stress feeling. For example, I hear women talking about going to get a manicure to relax, or going to get a pedicure to relax. And while all of those things are very relaxing, it does not address the true cause of their stress. I also see women say, well, I'm going to exercise or I'm going to work out so I can relieve this stress. Well, that too is a great part of a stress relief routine, but it doesn't address the true cause of stress. It's kind of like we put band-aids or bandages on the problem without really addressing the root. Now, I always say that Effective stress management begins when we take a comprehensive look at ourselves. We have to begin at the very beginning. I also believe that stress management and stress relief should be sustainable, meaning that we should be able to maintain our relief over a period of time. It's not a hit or miss thing. It should be something that we can do that is sustainable, that we can maintain over a period of time, and it should cause us to feel relief over an extended period of time. Also, in making it sustainable, we should have the capacity to maintain the activities or the actions that we do in order to manage our stress without interruption. Now, for those of you who get manicures or pedicures to relax, or you feel that is relaxing, I'm not knocking that. I'm just suggesting that starting at the beginning and addressing the problem creates a more sustainable model for stress relief. And over a period of time, it's a better way to relieve your stress. So I'm going to take a sip of tea. I hope you all have your tea. This is Sunday evening. You should be sitting in on your porch like I am. Yes, this is my porch, my studio, my space. And I have my tea. The sun is coming in. It's going down a little bit, but it's nice. It's nice to look at the squirrels running around outside. So anyway, I'm going to take a sip of tea for a second. Thank you. All right. So stress is a physical response, and you'll hear me say that repeatedly. And our bodies are designed to keep us safe. And it starts with our brain. Our brain uses the information that we get from our senses, our touch, smell, sight, hearing, feeling, and it uses that information to assess risk. And when it assesses risk, it will send signals to our body to get ready, to prepare in preparation for addressing the risk. So not only does it assess the risk that from the information that we receive from our five senses, it also assesses the risk based on our core beliefs, our thoughts, and our feelings. So while I may be outside, right? I might go outside and I may be raking the grass and I might hear something rustling in the leaves. And that might cause me to jump because I hear a rustle. I may think rustling in the leaves. I might think it's a snake. We do have snakes around here. So that may cause me to jump and to run. And, because my brain has assessed that I might be at risk. My thought is it could be a snake. So the rustling in itself may not cause me to go into panic mode or to run, but the rustle, the hearing the rustle may cause me to prepare, and my thought that it could be a snake will cause me to run. So all of those things, what we receive from the outside, our outside environment through our senses, touch, sight, sound, taste. I forgot taste before. Taste and hearing will cause our brain to assess the risk based on that information, and also our thoughts, our beliefs, and our feelings will also contribute to the stress response, or our brain sending signals initiating the stress response. So, as I said before, the stress response is a physical reaction. And we often ignore or we just don't notice the physical sensations unless they are extreme. For example, when I was raking the leaves and I heard the rustling sound, my heart immediately would start to beat faster. Boom. And it would start to beat harder. Also, because if I also, let's say I saw a snake, that would be an extreme risk to me because I don't like snakes and I'm afraid of them. Because of that, not only would my heart start to beat harder and faster, my pupils would dilate because they're going to get bigger so I can see better. My hearing would become sharper. My breathing would get shallow. And I would bolt. I would run probably faster than I would run any other time. Sometimes the response is so extreme, it might seem as if you can't catch your breath. And that's when people begin to, it seems like they hyperventilate. But my body would get very strong and I would have an extreme amount of energy. So that's just one example of how the stress response works. Now, let me give you another example. Let's say that someone is backing out of their car and they run over a cat or a dog or a child or a person. It is not uncommon for someone to immediately have superhuman strength. And we've heard of stories where women who were very petite in build were able to lift cars off of um, people, children, or animals that they love, right? It's like they got superhuman strength. We also have heard other stories about women or men who are small of build who are able to carry very heavy people when they're in the height of the stress response. That's because our brain causes us to be superhuman, right? We are fighting for our lives and for our existence. It is a physical response. So, what happens when we are not addressing the cause of our stress? What happens is this, and I love it, and as you know me, and I love to use visuals and metaphors to explain things. So, I'm going to use a metaphor of a water barrel. And water barrels collect rainwater. And people who garden use that water to water their plants, water their garden, and it's a great source because it's natural. It doesn't it does There's no energy use. So and it also allows us to use nature to nature's benefit, right? So we have a water barrel and it's getting full. It's actually filling up. And because the water barrel is filling up, some gardeners will attach a hose to the bottom of the faucet, and the faucets in water barrels are usually at the bottom. They'll attach a hose or near the bottom. They'll attach a hose and they use the water that's in the barrel to water their garden. So if there's a drought and the water barrel does not fill enough to water the plants, then the gardener doesn't have enough, right? They don't have enough water to water their garden. And they have to wait for rain to replenish the water that's in the water barrel. Also, what if there's a deluge of rain? For example, what if there's a tropical storm? Or what if there's a hurricane and the barrel fills and it overflows? Then there's too much water, right? There's too much, and the water's going to go everywhere. The garden's going to be flooded. You're going to have to just wait until the ground soaks up all the water, and hopefully your plants are still alive. In any case, the best scenario is that as the barrel is being filled with water, you are able to you have enough to water your garden without having to wait for the barrel to replenish itself. Or, so you really want more water to go into the barrel without overflowing. Does that make sense? I hope it does. Now, let's talk about stress as it relates to that scenario. When we are running and doing our thing, and when we are stressed, we are using a lot of energy. We're using mental energy, we're using physical energy, we're also using emotional energy. If we are not taking the time to replenish our energy, it's going to continue to decrease. And if it continues to decrease, we're going to run out. Remember, we talked about a while ago, we talked about running on empty. At least I talked about it in our series, Get Through the Holidays Without You Losing It. We talked about running on empty, where we have very little energy, but we keep going. When we are running on empty, or when we are near empty, we are then close to burnout. I want to say that again. When we are running on empty, or when we are near empty, we are close to burnout. And when we are burnt out, that means we're depleted. Our energy it's gone. And it's going to take a hurricane or a tropical storm to replenish us, right? It's going to take a lot to replenish us. So we want to be able to replenish our stock of energy steadily so that we are not running out of what we need. So we talked about the difference in our series, Get Through the Holidays Without Losing It. We talked about the difference between stress, overstress, and burnout. When you are overstressed, there's too much of everything. And that's what depletes your energy. When you're burnt out, you have no more. You're done. You're over. You're on the side of the road with no gas, and you're going to have to walk to the gas station, or you're going to have to call AAA or somebody to bring you some gasoline so you can start again. So we don't want to get to the place where we are completely depleted of energy. So my process of stress management is to help you to develop a plan that will provide you with a sustainable, satisfying way to maintain stress relief. And if you can do that, or when you're able to do that, you also feel successful in all areas of your life, not only in your work life, but also in your home life, right? So I also believe that one size doesn't fit all. And, I don't share all the time. I'm not constantly sharing temporary relief methods or temporary solutions that you can find on the internet. I start with helping you to create a personalized response to the individual stress that you experience. And so, having said that, when I want to talk about what it means to start at the beginning, okay, I want to share with you what that actually means. And there are a number of things that go into that. When you start at the beginning, you will know your stress baseline. And that means you will know what it feels like when your body is at rest, when you're not stressed, when you're not tight like this or tight like this, but you're relaxed. You will have an understanding about what that is for you. That way, by knowing your stress baseline, you will also be able to recognize what it feels like when you become stressed or when you're experiencing the stress response. So that's number one. Number two, you are going to learn when you work with me how to understand what stress is and how it works. That's why I can constantly say stress is a physical response, stress is a physical response, stress is a physical response, stress is a physical response. Stress is a physical response to a change or to an unspecified stimulus. I keep saying that because it is important to understand what stress is. Stress is a physical response to a change. And it initiates when our brain perceives risk from the information received from our five senses, as well as from our thoughts, our feelings, and our core beliefs. So when you work with me and when you're developing your own stress relief plan, you understand what stress is and how it works. Not only that, we help you to understand the true nature of what causes your particular stress. Because let's face it, what I find stressful and what starts my stress response may be very different than what starts your stress response. So, we're going to help you to acknowledge the true causes of your individual stress. You'll get to take a peek behind the curtain, so to speak, your own curtain, that is, and really get a sense of those things that cause you to feel stressed out. Not only that, we also look at and help you to become aware of the varying stress levels that you experience. So, for example, I said just a moment ago, what is stressful for me may not be stressful for you. True? That's true. But also, what is stressful for me and stressful for we may have different levels based on the same stressor, right? I may run when I see the snake, and I have done that. I've been working in my yard. I see a snake crawling, and I'm out of there. I'm booking it. Boom, 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 boom. I'm running, dropping my rake, dropping everything, and I'm going. You may not think it's a big deal. You may say, "Oh, look at the snake," and pick it up and look at it and talk about it, right? So, for me, seeing a snake in my yard will send me running and my heart's like pounding way out here. But for you, it may be, you may be startled. Oh, there's a snake. But it doesn't create the level of stress or the intensity of the stress response that I experience. Okay. Next, we help you to create a plan to prevent overwhelming negative stress and to intervene when you experience stress. And that plan should fit you and your lifestyle. You heard me talk about going to the internet and looking up stress relief tips. Well, that's a one size fits all solution. And that doesn't fit for everybody. We're all different, and we should have a plan that works for us individually. We should also have a plan that fits in our lifestyle. I mean, come on. To say get up in the morning at 5 o'clock and run before you go to work may not fit into your lifestyle. It certainly doesn't fit into mine. So we want to help you to develop a plan, right? That fits you and fits your lifestyle. So those are 5 key points that you want to be able to do when you start at the beginning. Start to develop your own individualized stress management plan. Well, that's it for now. We've hit about almost 30 minutes. I'm glad you joined me today. Get your tea, put your feet up. It's a Sunday afternoon. Enjoy the weather if it's not too cold where you are. Watch the football games that are on. Cleveland Browns. Yay, go Browns. Love my Brownies. I'm a Clevelander, native Clevelander who doesn't live in Cleveland right now. But cheer for the Browns, boo for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Anyway, enjoy the rest of your evening. I'm Marcelyn Bailey. Make sure that you follow our Facebook page, ML Bailey Consultants. Follow the page, please. Also, you're invited to join our Stress Talk private Facebook group. That's where we share a lot more information about stress and stress management for working women. Also, you will find me on Instagram at ML Bailey Consultants. Please follow me there, like me, and follow me there too as well. Also, please listen to the Stress Talk podcast. A new podcast drops on Wednesday. So make sure you follow and like the podcast. I think that's it for now. I'm so glad you joined me today. Share with your friends. Please share with your friends. We're here on Sundays at 4 p.m. drinking tea, hanging out, and talking about real talk, stress talk. I'm Marcelyn Bailey. And as always, take good care.